Hey everybody, for those of you that follow my social media, you already know that my Jeep is out of commission for a few days. It's in the shop right now being repaired. So that means I haven't been able to get out and do any kind of filming in the wilderness. So I've been kind of hanging out here and, taking care of some chores, doing some cleanups, taking care of a few projects that I've been neglecting. And so the next best thing to do is shoot a little film about some of the wild edibles that are actually in my own backyard. So come on, I'm going to show you what I got. This here is called sword fern. And it's one of the only ferns that actually does this. If you take a look here, see if I can pull one up here and show you. You see those little balls right there, and those balls are full of water and a lot of fiber and everything like that, and those can be eaten. You just rinse them off and chew them up. I tried boiling them one time because I heard somewhere that if you boil them down they become sweeter, but that didn't work for me. But yeah, sword fern right there, those little balls in there, food. All right, let's see what else we got here. This here is called Florida Betony. It's got a little root. Apparently the flowers and the leaves and everything could be used for medicine. I'm not sure what type of medicine it would be used for, but it creates these cool little roots that look similar to like a worm or a beetle or something, a segmented worm. I think it's also called a rattlesnake root or something. But the cool thing is, you don't have to dig very far, and you get a really cool little edible root that apparently you can eat straight up. A little oxalis right here. Oxalis, excuse me. You see it right here. I already have a little bit of sword fern growing as well. And all of these grow right next to each other. Go. That's a little bit of one there. Normally you get like a nice segmented, it looks kind of like a big gnarly finger or something like that, or like a caterpillar or something. But you can eat these straight out or cook them or whatever. It's all right. Okay. That's what the leaf structure looks like. And they're pretty cool. And I've seen them get pretty big to where you get enough of them, they make up a really good meal. There's another little one right there. That's nice. That's a slight hint of sugar. But I got tons of it all over my yard, so I'm not really worried about tearing up like one or two patches here. It goes all the way back. This here is spiderwort. I know it's spiderwort because it always grows here every year. I have 3 or 4 patches around the yard. And it's a real pretty purple flower. I'll show you again later in the year. But right over here, I have some oxalis. Check this out. This is oxalis. Now the reason it's called oxalis is because of the oxalic acid that's in it. But the cool thing is, it tastes a lot like lemon when you take a bite out of it. Very, very tart. It's almost exactly like lemon. Only thing is though, you don't want to eat too much of that. But it is a nice, refreshing little pop. So. Now, some of it's got them round leaves, and some of it's got these triangular leaves. I haven't found a difference in flavor, but the flowers are generally the same. It's got that nice bright pink color. This here is called chickweed. Now this stuff is really cool. It's apparently a superfood. You'll know it by these little sticky flowers that stick to your pants and your pets and stuff. I've got a ton of it in my yard, and I used to, before I actually knew what it was, I was like, man, I hate this stuff. It gets all over my cat, and when I worked at the vet hospital, it got all over the dogs. But that stuff sticks like crazy. But I don't know what these little flowers taste like, but I do know that the leaves taste fantastic. Kind of like celery a little bit. Let's see here. Let's pull up some leaves here. When they don't have all these flowers growing all over it, you can tell that it's chickweed by going in real close. It's all over my hands. You go in real close, you take a stem, and you gently pull it apart. Let's see, get rid of some of these real quick. Gently pull it apart, right? And it'll have a core in it. I don't know if you can see that. Let me try another spot. Right there. And it'll have that little core in there. And that core is a little elastic. So let me do another one, see if we can get a better result. That one definitely had it in there. It just, I don't know if the camera's picking it up. There's a little one right there, see? That little guy right there. But yeah, that's how you can tell that this is chickweed. Not only because of its sticky flowers. No, but the leaves are really good. They taste like a savory vegetable, kind of like celery a little bit. I love them. All right, let's see what else we got. This one here is one of my favorites. You've seen it in previous videos. Check this out. This here is poor man's pepper. Now, it's very similar to shepherd's purse, and they're both within the same family, which is a mustard. This here is what poor man's pepper looks like just before it starts to bloom into those little tiny seed pods. And it is so good. Young and tender are always the best. It's really spicy. Very similar to the flavor of a radish. It's a mustard type plant. That is just one of the best. I just love that stuff. And this stuff grows like crazy in my yard. At one time, I didn't mow the entire yard. I only mowed like a small, everything around one of these bushes, and it grew to be about this big around. Fantastic. This here is Spanish fork. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's not one of my favorites. It is edible. They say every part of the plant is edible, but I'm not sure if it was the chili I ate that night or the flour, but I had stomach problems, so I've been kind of nervous about eating it again. But these aren't very good. I had a cold snap and a lot of stuff frosted over, and this was one of the victims. I had a lot of oxalis suffer from that as well. Let's see what else we got. You might remember a while back, I went to that one wilderness area and found all those Suriname cherries. Look at that. Well, this is one of the best ones that started growing. So this one's planted in the very corner of my backyard, and as you can see, it's growing really well. It survived a couple of frosts so far, so we'll see how it goes. But the original one I picked up when I learned about what Suriname cherry was, that's growing into a huge bush, but it's in a pot, and I haven't decided where I wanted to put it yet. But it's growing really well, and I'm gonna have to transplant it one of these days. There's one more plant I want to show you guys before I let you go, and this one I picked up about 2 years ago, maybe a little less,
from an Asian supermarket. Now at the time, it was just a seed inside of a chunk of jackfruit. And that was the first time I ever tried jackfruit, and I loved it. So I wanted to see how far I could go, and I stuck the seed down in a little pot, germinated it, and then when it got tall enough, I planted it. Check that out. I am really happy with that plant. It's frosted this year and it survived, so it's well established. It's gonna go, and it should be, you know, a couple years, and then it'll start producing these giant fruit. I think that jackfruit could probably solve the world hunger problem. It produces that much food. It's an amazing fruit and tastes wonderful. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tour of my backyard. I got lots of cool little things growing out here, and that's why I really like it here. But I would double check and triple check before you start putting stuff in your gob, because some of that stuff out there could put a world of hurt on you, and you don't want to eat something that's potentially toxic. You know, you don't want to end up in the hospital, or worse yet, dead. So double check, triple check before you start stuffing your face with wild edibles. Make sure you know what it is before you stick it in your mouth. But I appreciate you guys very much. Thank you for watching. Like always, take care.